Okay, so picture this. You spend all this time crafting this like amazing new page for your site,
Yeah.
right? You're super stoked to get it live, hit publish,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, all right, time to see it shine in Google. You search for it, all excited and
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
It's like, where'd it go? Did the internet just swallow it whole?
It's super frustrating, right? And honestly, it happens more often than you'd think.
It really does. But that's exactly why we're diving deep into this today, figuring out this whole Google indexing mystery.
Definitely. It's kind of like the backbone of getting your content out there. If Google can't even find it, then...
Forget about it, right? No one else will either.
Exactly.
So think of it this way. It's like a library, right? You've got your awesome new book all ready to be shared, but first, Google's got to actually discover it. That's what we call trawling. They swing by your site, take a quick look around.
Like a first impression, right?
Totally. Then they need to process it, understand what it's all about, and store it in their massive system.
Yeah.
That's indexing. It's like putting your book on the shelves and adding it to the catalog.
And that catalog, that's what people use to find the books they want, just like Google's index is how people find stuff online.
Precisely. And then, comes the ranking. That's when someone types in a search and Google decides if your book is a good fit for what they're looking for. Like, should it be front and center on the shelf or tucked away in a corner somewhere?
And, if your page isn't indexed, it's like it never even made it to the library in the first place.
Invisible. Gone.
No matter how brilliant your content is, how much effort you put into it.
It's like it doesn't even exist in the online world.
Exact.
No organic traffic, no visibility, no ranking. Like you're shouting into a void.
It's tough. And that's why we're here, right?
Absolutely. So our mission today is super clear, all right? We're going to figure out why your page might be stuck in this, digital limbo.
Yeah.
And more importantly, give you the tools and steps to break free, to get indexed and get seen.
We've got a ton of info we've gathered, so...
We're going to cover everything, from those annoying technical glitches to linking problems and even issues with the content itself.
So to start, I think it makes sense to, really confirm that your page isn't actually indexed. Seems obvious, but sometimes
it's easier than you think.
Exactly.
And there's a really quick way to check this. Right now, go to Google, type in site, and then your website's address. So it'll look something like site.yourwebsite.com.
Super simple.
Super simple. Now, what you see next is key. If your page pops up, boom, you're indexed. Celebration time.
Party.
Right. But what if you see some of your site's pages, but not the specific one you're looking for? What does that mean?
Well, it means Google's definitely checked out your site. They know it exists.
They've been there.
They've been there, yeah. But for some reason, that specific page hasn't made it into their, main catalog.
Okay, and then there's the dreaded blank page.
Really?
0 results. Google's like, nope, never heard of it.
That's a little scary. But it basically means one of two things. Either Google hasn't stumbled upon that page at all, or they've intentionally chosen to not include it.
Ooh, that's even more concerning.
Yeah, but don't panic yet. That site, search, it's a quick snapshot, right? The real power move is using Google Search Console GSC.
Oh yeah, GSC, our trusty friend.
If you're serious about your website, getting cozy with GSC is a must. It's like having this, direct line to Google.
It's like peeking behind the curtain and seeing how they see your site.
Exactly. So once you're in GSC, you've got your website selected. There's a search bar right at the top. You just plop in the exact URL of your page, like the same way you type it in your browser.
And hit enter.
Boom. Information overload, but the good kind.
All right, so what are we looking for here? If it says URL is in Google Index, you're good. Your page is chilling, all indexed, and ready to go.
You're golden.
But if it says URL is not in Google Index, then, there's work to be done. That means Google hasn't added it to their system yet.
Yeah. And the real juicy details, they're usually hiding in the coverage section.
Ooh, coverage. That sounds important.
It is. You might see something like found currently not indexed. It's kind of weird because it means Google's found your page.
They know it's there.
Yeah, but they haven't actually crawled it yet, gone through the content and added it to their index.
Okay, so it's like they've seen the cover of the book, but they haven't actually opened it up to read it.
Perfect analogy. And then there's the more direct messages like blocked by robots.txt or no index tag detected. Those are red flags that something's technically stopping Google from indexing your page.
Okay, so GSC's given us some clues. What do we do next?
Well, if there aren't any screaming errors and the page just isn't indexed yet, you can try giving Google a nudge. Yeah, a poke. There's usually a button in GSC that says something like request indexing. You click that and
Fingers crossed.
exactly. It's not like a guaranteed instant fix, but it can sometimes speed things up. But if GSC tells you there's a robots.txt block or a noindex tag,
And then you know where to start digging.
exactly, you've got to go straight to those technical settings.
Okay, so let's talk about making sure Google can even reach your page. Like from a technical standpoint?
Yeah, sometimes it's not Google, it's you.
Ouch.
Well, not you personally, but your website, right? It's like making sure the library's doors are open before worrying about finding your book inside.
Right, the basics.
Basics. So first things first, type the URL directly into your browser.
Just like you'd normally visit the page.
Exactly. What happens?
Okay, if you see that 404 not found error, that's a bad sign. The page is like missing in action. Maybe it got deleted accidentally or the URL's got a typo.
Yeah, those typos can be sneaky.
They really can.
And then, if you get a 500 internal server error, that means your website's server is having a meltdown. And Google can't crawl a page if the server's down.
Okay, now here's a tricky one. Sometimes the page looks totally fine when you open it, but behind the scenes, it's sending mixed signals to Google. And that's where HTTP status codes come in.
Yeah, these codes are basically messages from your server to Google saying what happened when they tried to access the page. You can use this super handy tool, https.httpstatus.io. Just paste in your URL, and it tells you the code.
Or, if you're feeling techie, you can use your browser's Inspect Element tool. Press F12, go to the Network tab, you'll see the status code.
Very cool.
All right, so which codes should we be freaking out about?
All right, so 200 OK is the best news. It's like everything's awesome. Then you've got 301 move permanently and 302 found. Those are redirects, which are usually fine. It's like moving your book to a different shelf in the library.
But the codes that should make you sweat.
Anything in the 500s, like 500 internal server error or 503 service unavailable, those mean your server's struggling.
Full-blown library power outage.
Exactly, no one's getting in, not even Google.
Okay, another big player is the robots.txt file. For those who are new to this, can you break down what it is?
Sure, it's basically a set of rules you give to Google telling them which parts of your website they can and can't crawl. Think of it like a VIP list.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a plain text file, and you can find it by typing robots.txt after your website's address in the browser. So like yourwebsite.com, robots.txt.
Easy peasy. And what are we looking for in this VIP list?
The big no-no is disallow. That's like telling Google, nope, you're not allowed anywhere on my site. Obviously, that's going to stop your page from getting indexed.
So no one's getting past the velvet rope?
Nope. You might also see something like disallow your page. That means they're specifically blocking that one page.
Okay, makes sense. So robots.txt is the bouncer at the club.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that noindex meta tag.
Ah, yes, the noindex tag. It's another way to tell Google, hey, don't list this page in your search results. But here's the key difference with robots.txt.
I am looking.
Robots.txt stops Google from even seeing the page. The noindex tag, it lets Google see the page.
They can read it?
Yeah, they can read it, but they're specifically told not to add it to their index.
So it's like you can look, but don't touch.
Precisely.
So if Google can see it, how do we find this noindex tag?
You got to peek at the page's source code. You can usually do this by right-clicking on the page and choosing View Page Source.
Got it. So once we're looking at all this code, what are we searching for exactly?
Look for this specific line. Meta name, robots, content noindex. If you see that, boom, there's your culprit.
Busted.
That little line of code is telling Google to keep its hands off your page.
All right, we've covered the basics. We know how to check if our page is indexed, and we've run through some initial technical checks. Let's get a little more hands-on with those common technical issues that can really mess things up.
Love it. Let's get technical.
We've heard these can be real sneaky, like the page looks fine to us, but behind the scenes, it's a mess for Google.
Absolutely. And that's where things can get tricky. So let's circle back to robots.txt first.
We know what it is. We know how to find it. Now, how do we fix it if it's blocking our page?
Okay, so if you see disallow in your robots.txt file and you want Google to crawl your whole site, you got to change that line to just disallow.
Just like that.
Yep, that opens the doors, lets Google in. But if you only want to block certain parts, like maybe your admin pages or something, you need to be super specific in what you disallow.
No accidental blocking.
Exactly. Don't go locking Google out of your whole site by mistake.
All right, so precision is key. Now back to that noindex tag. How do we get rid of it if we want Google to index our page?
Okay, if you spot that meta name, robots content no index tag in your page's source code, and you want Google to pay attention, you can either delete the whole line,
Poof, gone.
gone, or you can change the content part to say meta name robots content index, follow.
Okay, and that index follow bit, what's that all about?
Index is basically you saying, hey, Google, please index this page. And follow means you're also giving Google permission to crawl and check out any links on that page.
So it's like, come on in, make yourself at home, look around.
Exactly. And if you're using WordPress or another content management system, these settings are usually in the page editor itself or tucked away in an SEO plugin like Yoast SEO or Rank Math. Definitely worth checking those settings because you might have accidentally flipped the noindex switch without realizing it.
Okay, good to know. Now, we've also heard about these canonical errors. What are those all about?
So the canonical tag is like a little note you put on your page to tell Google, hey, if there are multiple versions of this page floating around, this is the one you should pay attention to. It helps prevent Google from getting confused when you have similar content on different URLs.
So it's like choosing the official, definitive version of your content.
Exactly. The tag looks like this: link rel canonical href URL of preferred page. Now, if that tag on your new page is pointing to a different page,
Huh.
that's a problem. You're basically telling Google that the other page is the real MVP.
So how do we fix it?
You got to make sure the canonical tag points to the current page itself. So if your page is at yourwebsite.com, your page, then the canonical tag should be link rel canonical href https://yourwebsite.com/your-page.
Simple as that.
Yep. And again, if you're using WordPress, check your SEO plugin settings because they often handle these canonical tags automatically.
Got it. Now, server errors and slow loading times, those can be a pain. How do we tackle those bad boys?
Okay, so we talked about checking for those 404 and 500 errors by trying to visit the URL yourself.
Uh-huh.
And remember that tool, https://httpstatus.io. That's your best friend for getting a clear status code. You want a nice 200 OK, and anything in the 500s means you got to chat with your hosting provider. They can help you sort out those server issues.
Server whisperers.
Right. Now, about loading times. Google loves speedy websites. If your page takes forever to load, Google might just give up and move on.
They've got places to be.
Exactly. The rule of thumb is, if it takes longer than 3 seconds, you've got work to do.
Okay, so how can we test our page speed and give it that extra boost?
Google's got this amazing free tool called Page Speed Insights. You can find it at https://pagespeed.web.dev. Plug in your URL, and it'll give you a performance score and a whole bunch of tips for speeding things up.
Okay, cool. And what are some common culprits for slow loading times?
Big, bulky images are a classic. Also, not using caching, which basically stores parts of your website so it loads faster for repeat visitors.
Smart.
And sometimes it really might be your hosting provider, like they're just not giving you enough oomph.
So we might need to upgrade our internet package, basically.
Sometimes, yep. Think of it as getting a faster lane on the information superhighway.
All right, last but not least, let's chat about XML sitemaps. What's their role in all of this?
Think of an XML sitemap like a table of contents for your website. It lists all the important pages, making it super easy for Google to find and crawl them.
So it's like giving them a guided tour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can usually find your sitemap by going to yourwebsite.com/sitemap.xml.
Okay, and how do we know if it's working properly?
Check your Google Search Console. In the Sitemaps section, you ideally want to see a status of successfully processed.
Green light, we're good.
If it says failed or not found, then you got to fix it and resubmit it.
Like a do-over.
Exactly. And whenever you add new pages, make sure your sitemap is updated.
Okay, we've talked a lot about the technical stuff. Now let's shift gears and focus on the content itself.
Love it. Content is king, right?
Absolutely. So even if everything's technically perfect, why might Google still hesitate to index our page?
Well, sometimes the content itself just isn't quite up to snuff. We see issues with thin content, which is basically content that doesn't offer much value.
Like a really short surface-level blog post?
Yeah, exactly. Or product pages with barely any description. Google wants to provide high-quality, informative results. If your content feels thin, they might just skip it.
They're picky eaters.
They are. Then there's duplicate content. That's when the same or very similar content appears on multiple pages, either on your own site or on other sites. Google doesn't like this because it makes it hard to figure out which version is the original and which to show in the search results.
So it's like having multiple copies of the same book on the library shelf.
Exactly. Then we have orphan pages. These are pages that don't have any internal links pointing to them from other pages on your site.
So they're like lost and alone.
Exactly. Google primarily finds new pages by following links. If there are no links leading to a page, it's like it's hidden away in a secret room.
No one can find it.
Nope. And finally, there's the overall user experience, or UX.
Hmm.
If your page is slow, annoying to use, or just plain bad, Google might decide it's not worth indexing, or they might not rank it well.
So it's not enough to just get the content there. It's got to be good content that people actually want to read.
Absolutely. Google wants to keep its users happy, and that means providing them with high-quality, engaging experiences.
Okay, let's break these content issues down one by one, starting with thin content. How can we tell if our content is too thin for Google's taste?
Well, one clue is in your Google Search Console under the coverage report, if you see a status of crawled, currently not indexed, it might mean Google found the content too weak.
Like they took a bite and weren't impressed.
Exactly. But you also got to use your own judgment. Does your page really offer enough in-depth information? Is it unique and helpful?
And if we realize our content is a bit thin, what's the fix?
You got to beef it up. Add more detail, make it longer, aim for at least 500, 1,000 words, or even more, depending on the topic. Add images, videos, format it nicely. Make sure it's actually useful and valuable to the reader.
So it's like instead of just a snack, we're serving up a full-course meal.
Love that analogy. And a good trick is to look at what the top ranking pages for your keywords are doing. If they're all super detailed and comprehensive, you need to step up your game to compete.
All right, duplicate content. Why is Google so against it?
It really messes with their system. They don't know which version to trust, which one to show to users, so they often just pick one and ignore the others. That means your new page might get lost in the shuffle if Google thinks it's just a copycat.
So how do we avoid accidentally creating duplicate content?
Okay, watch out for these common traps. Having multiple URLs with the same content, like with and without a trailing slash or with tracking parameters in the URL. Don't just copy-paste product descriptions or blog posts from other websites. And make sure your content isn't accessible through different versions of your domain, like with and without www.
So many things to watch out for.
I know, right? But there are ways to catch it early. You can try searching for a unique snippet of your text in Google using quotation marks and the site operator.
Okay, and what if we find we do have duplicate content issues? What's the best way to handle them?
Canonical tags to the rescue. We talked about those before. They tell Google which page is the boss, the original one. If you have to have similar content on multiple pages, try to rewrite each version and make it unique. For identical content on your own site, use 301 redirects to point all the duplicates to one main page.
So it's like consolidating all those duplicate books into one nice, neat stack.
Exactly. And for those tricky product pages that are similar but have slight variations, use structured data or schema markup to help Google understand the differences.
Okay, let's move on to those lonely orphan pages. How do we find them and give them some love?
You can get some hints in Google Search Console in the links section under internal links. Look for pages with very few or no internal links pointing to them.
And to really get the full picture, we might need some fancier SEO tools, right?
Yeah, tools like Ahrefs or Screaming Frog can be really helpful for spotting those hidden orphans. They crawl your whole site and tell you which pages are linkless.
And once we find them, how do we rescue them?
Give them some internal links. Link to them from other relevant pages on your site, using clear anchor text that describes what the page is about. Aim for at least 2 to 3 internal links. And make sure every important page on your site is reachable through links so there are no dead ends.
So it's like building a network of paths through our website so Google can easily find everything.
Exactly. And remember, a good XML sitemap can also help with discovery, even for pages that don't have a ton of internal links.
Okay, last but not least, UX, or user experience. How does a bad user experience impact Google's decision to index our page?
Google wants to serve up the best results, right? So if your page loads slowly, it's bombarded with pop-ups, the text is impossible to read, or it's not mobile friendly.
It's like walking into a messy, disorganized library.
Exactly. Google might think, this is not a good experience for our users, and they might not index it, or they'll rank it lower.
So it's not just about Google. It's about creating a good experience for the actual people who visit our page.
Absolutely. Happy users mean a happy Google.
So how can we test our UX and make sure we're not scaring people away?
Use that page speed insights tool we talked about. It doesn't just check loading speed, it also looks at mobile usability and other UX factors. Make sure your website is responsive, meaning it adapts to different screen sizes. Break up your text into shorter paragraphs, use headings, and get rid of those annoying pop-up ads.
Keep it clean and simple.
Exactly. And keep an eye on your bounce rate in Google Analytics. A high bounce rate means people are leaving your page quickly, which could be a sign of a bad UX.
Okay, so we've identified all these potential issues. Now, what are some quick wins to try and get Google to finally index our page?
The most direct approach is to just tell Google, hey, check this out.
How do we do that?
Through Google Search Console, go to GSC, select your website, and paste the URL of your page into the search bar at the top. If it's not already indexed, you should see a button that says something like Request Indexing.
Click it and hope for the best.
Exactly. It might take a few hours, a few days, or even a couple of weeks, but it's worth a shot.
Okay, and what about our XML sitemap? Can we use that to help things along?
Definitely. Make sure your sitemap is correctly formatted, submitted to Google Search Console, and updated whenever you add new pages.
Keep it fresh.
Exactly. And double-check that your robots.txt file points to your sitemap.
So Google can find it easily.
Yep. And don't forget about internal links. When you publish a new page, link to it from other relevant pages on your site that are already indexed. Use clear anchor text that tells Google and users what the page is about.
So we're building a clear path for Google to follow.
Precisely. And think about getting backlinks, too. Sharing your page on social media, leaving comments on other blogs, reaching out to other website owners for links. All those things can help Google discover your page faster.
So we're spreading the word, getting the buzz going.
Exactly. And lastly, remember that content is king. Make sure your content is high quality, unique, and actually answers the questions people are searching for. Look at the top ranking pages for your keywords and see what they're doing right.
So we're not just creating content for Google. We're creating content for real people, for our audience.
Exactly. That's how you win in the long run.
Okay, so we've done all that. Weeks have passed, and our page is still MIA. What's going on?
All right, deep breath. It's time to investigate further. One possibility is that Google's crawling your page, but they just don't think it's good enough compared to what's already out there.
Ouch. So we're back to the content quality game.
Yep. You got to look at the top ranking content and figure out how to make yours even better, more comprehensive, more insightful. Give them a reason to choose you.
Okay, what else could be going on?
It could be that your page isn't getting crawled at all. Maybe your internal links are messed up, or your sitemap isn't working properly. Go back and double check all those technical things.
Make sure all the lights are green.
Exactly. And then there's the possibility that Google's actively rejecting your page. Maybe they think it's low quality, spammy, or violates their rules.
Gulp. How do we know if that's the case?
Check your Google Search Console under the Security and Manual Actions section. If there's a manual action listed there, that means Google slapped you with the penalty and you need to fix the issue before they'll reconsider your page.
So it's like getting a detention slip from Google.
Pretty much. And then sometimes it really might be the URL itself. Maybe it's just structured in a way that Google doesn't like.
So a change of address might be in order.
Sometimes, yep. Try republishing the content under a new, cleaner URL and see if that helps. And if all else fails, and you're seeing lots of your pages not getting indexed, it might be time to call in the professionals. A good SEO expert can help you diagnose and fix those really deep-rooted problems.
So if we're struggling, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Absolutely. Sometimes a fresh set of eyes can make all the difference.
Awesome. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. Any final words of wisdom?
Remember, getting your pages indexed is just the first step. You also need to focus on creating high-quality content that people actually want to read and share. Build a solid website structure with clear internal links. Use your XML sitemap wisely, and keep an eye on those technical factors that can trip you up. And if you hit a roadblock, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Great advice. So for all of you out there battling the Google indexing beast, remember, you're not alone. Arm yourself with this knowledge, take action, and watch your content climb those search result rankings.
You got this.
And now, for all of you listening, here's a question to ponder. Think back to those pages you've struggled to get indexed. Which of these factors might you have overlooked? And how could addressing that one issue potentially unlock a whole new level of visibility for your website?
Food for thought, right?
Absolutely. All right, until next time, happy indexing.
Bye, everyone.